I would like to pay tribute to a very dear friend that I got to know through Unity. Nancy Sogliuzzo made her transition recently, and she became acquainted to me when I first started attending the Unity of Cajon. It was back in 2012, and I just got slightly acquainted with her before she had some medical issues that precluded her from coming to church. However, we reconnected during COVID time when I started up an afternoon tea group on Zoom just to stay supportive of each other. And she came into this group with just her truth and her light and her wisdom. And she was so uplifting. She'd often bring topics that we could discuss for how we were feeling about the isolation, the changes that were going on. She was always good about sharing her recent readings and authors, and always open to sharing what she knew. Nancy was a very kind and loving person, and she spoke that truth of unity. She was very anchored in the faith, her faith and the truths and the beliefs that Unity taught. She was a great catalyst for inspiring me to really follow those principles and those beliefs, and knowing that everything is happening in divine order. I know with her husband's passing last year, it became very difficult for Nancy, and she had some difficult times and was dealing with it, but she still was very supportive of our afternoon tea and of this ministry where we would record the tapings to share with others. And she brought such great wisdom and such great understanding. And I really want to honor the friend she was, the light that she shone and inspired me. And I really I'm so glad that I got to know Nancy better through these last few years. And I really am grateful that God blessed her into my life and into this ministry of our tapings and sharing her wisdom. She was always there to lift up people in prayer. And when I was going through my situation with my sister's illness and then passing, she reached out to me to make sure it was in the prayer ministry. She included us in the prayers and gave me the support I needed. And I'm so glad that I had her as a friend. And thank you so much for letting me share my thoughts on Nancy. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kathy Richmond, and I have the honor of sharing about Nancy Sogliuzzo. It's really interesting because I never met Nancy in person, but she volunteered her time to join us on the panel. And when she did that, she always had a really remarkable topic, and she just had so much knowledge and wisdom that I picked up on, and I wish that I could have met her. But I think the fact that she went when she was recording at one point, this was before her husband passed, she still came back afterwards and volunteered her time. And I know myself as a volunteer that I volunteer working with incarcerated women. There's so much, it gives you so much. And I think that Nancy received a lot of love, and she felt a part of our ministry and by donating her time. So I'm grateful to Nancy for just being able to see her when she volunteered her time on the panel. So God bless you, Nancy, and may you rest in peace.
A dear friend of mine, Nancy Sogliuzzo, recently transitioned. And before she left this world, she loaned me a book. And the book is called Epigenetics, The Ultimate Mystery of Inheritance by a science journalist named Richard C. Francis. After we discovered both of our families experienced similar diseases that are inherited, that's when she loaned me the book. And within its pages, I found science and spirituality working together to give us hope and identify the direction a gene is capable of taking to combine both environmental and thinking into a subconscious transformation. The end result is living heaven on earth. I feel this was Nancy's seed to plant. Parents contribute separately but equally to who we are. They also make unequal contributions to us. It makes a difference when you inherit some genes from your father or your mother. Some genes are activated by your mother, but remain inactivated if from your father, and vice versa. I must admit, understanding what this means to me personally was an aha moment. I felt my mother's love as part of this healing potential. It is as strong as her faith was that moves beyond her grave and every bit as silent as my dad's suffering was. Epigenetics means that rather than genes being the victim and carrying a disease from one generation to another, they become a resource to be used by ourselves. To simplify it, the author refers to this approach as components of a play. The cells replace the genes as director, identifies the proteins and the genes as the actors, and all other biochemicals as stagehands. I found great hope when I read that genes inherited can be changed in one's life and for the lives of their offsprings by epigenetic changes that occur through the food we eat, the pollutants to which we're exposed, environmental occurrences, and social interactions. And it can begin and usually does in the womb. At this point, I want to express Nancy loaned me this book is considerably larger and more complicated for those of us with no medical background, but it isn't as big as my heart, where my own subconscious transformation takes place as science meets a divine spirit. It is here where I know I've been touched by God's grace through Nancy's sharing. In the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary by Charles Fillmore, healing is defined as restoring the original purity or integrity. He says the first step in all spiritual healing is to believe, and the next step is openness and receptivity to the stream of healing life. Through the exercise of faith in our words, our spiritual quality is fused into unity with the power of Christ, and the work is marvelously accomplished. Both science and spirit say we live in harmony or disharmony with life. Richard Francis gives both positive and negative examples in his book of environmental and social interactions to confirm this. Many I wish I could share with you here to gain your trust. On the cellular level, his examples reveal the power of Christ to me as he states epigenetic research as the potential for a medical revolution. I'm empowered now to share a positive example. Cancer cells, often placed amid the company of normal cells, become normal cells. So thank you, Nancy, for what you contribute here and for being the evidence of how we help each other through this ministry. Please rest in peace and take comfort in knowing this energy, combined with my faith, your church family, and the grace of God, will be the healing agent for your loved ones too. I pray that God's will be done. At another recent church family memorial, I learned that with a hand on my heart and a sweep toward my chin, I could silently say, "Welcome home." Thank you, Unity Church family, for giving me the opportunity to tell you about my friend Nancy Sogliuzzo and deliver a message of hope that emanates from her being. And so it is.
Nancy lived a life that was very much about service, whether it was service to animals, to children, to the church. She was always looking for ways that she could donate her time and be a part of. Nancy used to write poems, or not poems, prayers every single month, and she would send me a month's worth of beautiful inspired prayers in my email. And I'm really going to miss that. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to get to know her. When Nancy was unable to get around the way that she wanted to, she started doing more and more on Zoom. And she joined the video ministry and was a part of as many tapings as she was able to be. The more challenges she had, the less we got to enjoy her wisdom and her time. Nancy was all about love and all about kindness. She used to say and post on Facebook over and over again, if you can be anything in this world, be kind. Unless you can be fantastically kind, then be fantastically kind. I am grateful for the time to know Nancy here in this realm, in the flesh. And I know that she was ready to move forward into her next great adventure. I believe I can speak for the entire video ministry by saying, thank you, Nancy. We appreciate all that you are and all that you have been and all that you will be. Namaste.